So if you have your own business and you have a business credit card, what's the best way to actually use that business credit card? I think it's a good question to ask because credit cards can either be very valuable or very detrimental depending on how you use them. So for starters, I would not use a business credit card for long-term debt. So if you're starting a business and maybe you need, $30,000, $40,000 to buy equipment and buy inventory and pay different expenses to get the business started, and you're not going to be able to pay off that debt for a little while, I probably wouldn't recommend using a credit card for that. It would be most likely better to get a business loan or use a line of credit, because with a business loan or a line of credit, you're going to have better terms. You're going to have, most importantly, a lower interest rate. Credit cards have a very high interest rate relative to business loans and lines of credit. So that would be how I recommend not using a credit card. But for how I would recommend using a credit card, if you are going to use one for business, would be for purchasing things that you are going to get paid for or later collect money for. So for example, if you have a construction company and you need to buy materials for a job, a job that you're going to get paid for down the line once you're completed, that can maybe be a good use for a credit card, because let's say you purchase $5,000 in material for this job, and then you're going to get paid $20,000, which is going to cover the materials that you had to pay for plus wages and things like that. You're not taking out long-term debt. In the short term, you're going to recover that money plus some, and you're going to be able to pay down that credit card debt before it becomes long-term debt. Plus you're going to get whatever points or rewards from using the credit card to make the purchase for those materials. So that's where it can be really beneficial, especially if it's short term, where you're probably going to pay off that expense within a month or 2 months, because most credit cards will have their 1 month billing cycle and then typically a 3-week grace period. So if you're making this purchase at the beginning of your cycle, you might have up to a maximum of 7 weeks before the credit card even starts charging you interest on that purchase. So that could be great for something like small construction jobs where you're probably going to be finished in 2 or 3 weeks or maybe 4 weeks. You can probably charge your credit card for those materials and then have it paid off before you even have to pay interest, and then you get those bonus reward points or whatever it is, cashback rewards on that credit card. And then similarly to that, another good example, actually an employer I had a long time ago, he used to collect payments from his clients, and then he had to pay forward payment to, I guess, head office, you could call it, or the main franchise in which he was a franchisee for. So he would collect those payments, and then he was able to pay those back, the payments he collected from his clients to kind of the head franchise using his credit card. So he was never really going in debt and making huge purchases on his credit card. And he was set up with kind of the most elite type of credit card where he was getting tons of points. And in his case, they were kind of air miles points. So he was getting just free flights around the world simply for collecting money from his clients and then paying it forward using his business credit card. So if you can do something like that, that's hugely beneficial. So again, use it for stuff that you're going to be able to pay off right away, where you're not really going into debt, where you don't really need a loan. It's kind of just like a bridge loan where you're paying for something, shortly before you get paid back for it. Whereas if you're going into longer term debt to pay for assets for the business or things like that, then you're probably better off just getting, equity financing or a business loan or line of credit. So hopefully that was helpful. If you liked the video, just click like. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of other videos covering topics surrounding business management and business startup. And if you have any questions on those topics, you can just leave a comment in the comment section below and I will address it there.